Abba. April 17, 2019. Abba, present in the heart of each person, through silence as well as through words, only expresses the verb of truth that is imprinted and expressed in each person, in these precious times that the ephemeral lapse. Beloved of love, let us embrace together the spirit of truth, the Paraclete, and let us establish through our presence, the unspeakable presence of the fires of love. Agape in everyone, agape in space, agape in time, in the heart of everyone, to perform the miracle of a single thing, beyond all things, where the dream is extinguished, where the unspeakable truth is revealed in everyone. Silence. In the irrepressible embrace of the other as well as of each other, where nothing resists, where nothing desires to oppose, where evidence dances the song of life in all creation, in all dreams, allowing the awakening to the unspeakable truth. Beyond my words and beyond your silences, crossing everything with the same intensity, the ineffable unfolds inside and out, there too, for the miracle of a single thing, where the whole, understood in the nothing, no longer leaves anyone outside the truth, bringing the truth beyond any dream. Silence. Beloved of love, in this moment as in every moment, the eternal instant is revealed and amplified, covering all space and all time, in every world and in everyone. No one can and will escape it, by consuming love, satiating you forever with every idea of the dream, every idea of will and every idea of resistance, in that you are, in that I am. Let us resonate together in the fire of the Sacred Heart, in the heart of each one, with the same intensity and reciprocity. Then embrace is given, then the state of grace becomes the gift of grace, being made without person, without idea or intention, and without reluctance, bringing everyone to the threshold of awakening, whatever this body thinks of it, whatever this world thinks of it, in all appearance and in all truth, with the same clarity and precision. You're invited to let what you thought you had lost be what you thought you had lost, leaving the fire of the heart to ignite the ultimate questions, the ultimate interrogations. In this precise moment, even without my words, everyone lives it, bringing peace through every war and every event. There is no point in finding any cause for all this, because it is beyond any cause, beyond anything you can conceive, imagine or dream or fear. Let us take our place in the saint of the saints, let us take our place in the ineffable, let us take our place in the fire of the Sacred Heart, bringing the eternal song beyond any rhythm, your presence and your absence merged for the miracle of the same thing. Silence. The symphony of the 24 lamps, emanating from your heart, touches with its grace, without any effort and without any intention, everything you touch, everything you look at, everything you think, annihilating any notion of suffering, annihilating any lack, annihilating everything you believe and revealing what is to be lived from within and without, here too, to perform the miracle of a single thing, where there is no one left and where everything is contained. This is the joy of the gift of grace. This is the joy of your heart, found beyond all identity. It happens at this moment and it is decreed. While the illusions of your life are burning, while the apparatuses of forfeiture of this world are burning, the unspeakable forgiveness stirs up the fire of consummation, stirs up the fire of love in the eternal Agape, not depending on any sphere or any creation, where you have never moved. You thus discover yourself in the perfection that has never left you, whatever imperfection you think, whatever imperfection you experience. I invite you from this moment to lay at your feet as well as at the feet of each one what remains of burdens, weights and gravity, in order to be freed from all conditions and all times, as well as from all space. Silence. Loved by love and loved by love, it is simplicity, it is straightness that does not depend on any definition applied to your character as to any relationship, as within any world, crossing dimensions, crossing any image, crossing any reflex as well as any conditioning. Freedom is given to you as soon as you grant it to yourself, ignoring circumstances, ignoring suffering, leaving room for what can never disappear, for what can never again be moved away, for there is no distance, for there is no separation, even in what may still seem separate to you. Beloved of love, accept this beyond everything as well as beyond you, passing through your form as well as from one side to the other in this world where the call of zero time named the event presents itself in everyone, making it reveal itself to the face of the world. There is glory, there is hope that does not wait for time, that does not wait for a deadline, that counts for nothing and gives itself without counting. Then loved of love, you're invited to the perpetual celebration that is your natural and that is your essence. Beloved of love, you're invited at every step, at every word and at every glance, to remain in eternity, where joy fills you so that you can never lack what you have always been, in this instant moment. Where you embrace, I embrace you, where you give yourself, I give myself, where you suffer, I suffer, not out of compassion, but by the evidence of transfiguration, by the evidence of Agape beauty. You're invited by every minute that passes, that goes by, to find the temple of your eternity, that does not need to be built, that does not need to be delimited, or even to be visualized. You occupy the space that ends time, you occupy the time that ends space. Because time and space can never appear, from the moment you know it, from the moment you live it, you're that and much more than that. I invite you to the dance of silence of words, in whatever image you see, in whatever thought you have, let yourself pass through in order to be absorbed, beyond your abode of eternity, into the eternal instant and into every space inside and outside, ignoring every dimension, ignoring every expectation. Where you are, is your place, and yet you are in every place, so is the gift of grace, so is the completion of apotheosis, as well as revelation. I invite you to love as love invites you by recognizing yourself and yours through you, in the unspeakable love that you cannot describe, that you cannot count and that you cannot extinguish. Love rises forever in the heart of every consciousness, in the heart of every child, in the heart of every suffering, putting an end to illusion, putting an end to time, putting an end to space. The same love, with the same intensity and clarity, manifests itself in you as outside you, where there is no one, where the whole encompasses nothing and where nothing covers everything, where the consciousness is futile in whatever aspect it presents. I invite you to be there, beyond any celebration, beyond any appointment, at every moment and in every circumstance on which you depend in no way, but which represents the lighting of what needed to be, allowing the dream to be extinguished, allowing joy and happiness to manifest itself, right here in this world, and resonating in every world. It is now, it is in every instant, it is in everyone. As the song of the resurrection resounds, which no one can ignore and from which no one can escape, I invite you to the obvious, I invite you to love which knows no distinction or distance, beyond all that has happened in the countless dreams of creation. It is time to wake up, it is time to accept, it is time to realize what could never be erased, in order to erase, to magnify everything that has appeared, by the same light, by the same brightness, by the same intensity. Beloved of love, in what you are, I am. From the moment you think of me, I get active in you. You don't need to name me, you don't need to represent me, you don't need to make to attach me any story, you don't have to ask, you don't have to wait. This is immediate, that is the truth of Agape through the action of the fire of the Sacred Heart. I invite you to find yourself beyond all forms, beyond all that you can believe, in the ineffable beauty of naked love. Let joy consume what only passes, retain nothing and ask for nothing, for everything is already granted from the moment you think it, you do not need proof, you do not need to wait, it is, from the moment you accept it and embrace it. I invite you to share what is the common gift, I invite you to share your laughter and the radiance of your gaze, because this puts an end to the rest of wandering, to the rest of doubt, so that nothing can be missing. You are complete and you are true in this, allowing you then to no longer be conditioned, to no longer fear so that suffering may be consumed in love, whatever you think of it, whatever you want with it, it is the ineffable. The angel choir will sing to your ears and increase the power of your heart, whatever you say and whatever you think, because it depends on no one, there is no authority, no thought that can alter the beauty of what is lived, from the moment your life becomes life beyond any journey, beyond any resistance. I invite you to beauty in the same way that you ask me or invite me into you, because I am not separated or divided into what you are. You simply have to accept to embrace, you simply have to be true right now because there is no more delay, because there is no more to wait. The time of waiting ends on this day showing you, wherever you look, the truth of the unfolding of the fire of the Sacred Heart. Silence. While everything is called to be shown, you know it even if you do not live it. Everything that is shown to you only passes through and will never remain, because you are a gift of grace beyond any gift as well as any intention, as well as any explanation. Beloved of love, I invite you to the ineffable of your own presence, of your own absence. Silence. Thus the balm of love comes to invest each suffering for the same happiness, for the same joy. Let what is be, let go of what you thought you had, resisting nothing. Abba is in you and comes to give you what you have always been beyond all having and suffering, where there is nothing to fear, where the chaos of the world is only the restitution of the truth. Whatever you still think about it today, whatever you are affected by it, it only passes. Let your 24 lamps radiate and shine in your body as in your eyes, in your word as in your silence, beyond any understanding or explanation, for love is the answer, for love is the question. Agape comes out of it, the fire of the sacred heart, resonates in the unison of creation in every consciousness as in every grain of sand, for there is no difference, for all this you are. Whatever you say or think about it, there is no difference there either, there too there is the same evidence. Silence. Listen, listen and hear the fullness of silence, listen and hear beyond any image and beyond any projection magnifying the moment, that is now and that is here. Whatever you do and whatever you say, it is evident and it appears and will never disappear. Silence. There is nothing to decide, there is nothing to oppose, there is nothing to understand, just to let yourself be carried away by the intelligence of the light beyond any world, beyond any creation, showing you that only love will never pass, whatever you say and whatever you do, with the same happiness, passing through all misfortune and suffering. All we have to do is agree, we just have to accept, and that is done, and that is it. Silence. Listen to me and hear me, I am what you are what I am. Silence. There are no better circumstances, whatever you may judge, than to be where you are, in the state you are in, to live this with the greatest ease. Let yourself be embraced, let yourself live in order to observe thanksgiving wherever you are and whatever you do, whatever you want or do not want. There again, there is no distance, there again, there is no difference, and that is now in or here of your present, because it is present, because it is the present from life to life. Give yourself to yourself, ignoring all circumstances, putting an end to boundaries. Wherever they come from, they can no longer curb this consummation of love. Don't worry about anything else, because there is nothing to become, because there is no future and there is no more distance. Silence. Let me love you beyond any condition or state within this body. Whatever your thoughts, you cannot resist the fire of love, it is now and it is always. Silence. There is to deposit you by the abandonment of your person, without however denying anything, just to cross, to accept what is, there is the miracle of life. For as soon as you drop what you think you have to understand, what you think you have to explain, the ineffable truth takes over the whole space, putting an end to hesitation, putting an end to fear, putting an end to suffering. Silence. Time becomes space, space becomes time, for the miracle of a single thing that is not even a thing, because it does not correspond to any pronounceable word, and the more the intensity is experienced, the fewer words there are, the fewer postures there are. Silence. I love you to the extent that you love yourself in this way, putting an end to the restrictions you may have seen imposed from within and without, whether in any space or in any relationship. I invite you to resonate, I invite you to breathe, I invite you to do so from the heart of your heart. No one can ignore it beyond the form, in this life, in this person. There is nothing to worship, because everything is there, inside you as well as outside you, in everything you see, in everything you experience. Silence. I am what you are despite your appearance, despite your form and despite any history here or elsewhere, because there is no such thing as zero time. Silence. Then the crystal fountain activates itself in you, lighting the last elements of your ascensional body, burning in an unspeakable way what you thought you were missing or not understanding. Because it is lived. I invite you to the legitimacy of love right here in this world, because everything you touch, because everything you experience and everything you look at, makes you feel that way, virgin of all suffering, virgin of all despair, virgin of all conditions. My friend, my beloved, so you're the source of living water, so you're the living water, so you're the air that love carries to you, so you're the fertilized earth consuming itself in the fire of joy, so you're the fire that cannot be compared to any visible or invisible fire, so you are, so you have been, so you'll be beyond any distance as from any past or any future. For what you are is conjugated at all times, in every space, where nothing is defined, where everything is restored, where you cannot keep anything towards you and within you, where you can only sing with me as with each other, the song of the completion of the resurrection. Whatever the words, whatever you understand of them, the important thing is beyond any meaning and direction, for you are the set of directions, as you have always been the set of the dream of creation, where nothing can remain and remain outside Agape love. Silence. Where you have nothing to hold on to, not even to remember. Silence. Let what is called to pass pass pass, let remain what will never pass, beyond each word, beyond our presence, where the afterlife is nothing, where there is no more beyond, where nothing can be reflected, where nothing can be missing. Every minute that passes within this week cannot be ignored. Whatever you discuss it, there is no other cause than revealed love. The simulacrum has joined the sacred and plays the same dance. Everything depends on where you look. Everything depends on where you live. You don't have to choose. It happens spontaneously. Whatever you fear, only the level of your acceptance depends. Don't put any conditions on it. Don't put any assumptions on it. And that's right now. You have nothing to remember. You have nothing to hold on to. Silence. Beloved of love, you're the chosen one, for each one is chosen beyond any election and beyond any choice. Let the burning fire that emanates from your chest ignite what is dream, ignite the suffering so that all that remains is the clarity of the evidence and the precision of love. Silence. Let me love you as I let myself be loved, beyond any identity and beyond any condition. Let yourself be possessed by freedom. Let yourself be possessed by what you have always been, in whatever game of creation it may have been or may have been dreamed of. I invite you to celebrate Agape without idea and without intention, because there is your natural state which no longer suffers from delay, no longer suffers from distance. I take you nowhere but to the heart of your being, where you realize that you will never pass, that you have never moved. It is simple, it is simplicity. Silence. Listen and hear the song of silence, listen and hear the truth that makes no noise, while the noise from the outside only shows you the chaos of lying. It only had a time and you already dreamed it, and you've already passed it. You're only replaying the symphony of life-consuming illusion. I invite you to silence, I invite you to sin, I invite you to be true whatever you think and say, every minute, every day, every moment, every setting, in every country, whatever those who still think they can control you in one way or another say, no longer let you be deceived. There is nothing to determine, there is nothing to choose, there is simply to accept this evidence and it will satisfy you beyond all expectations. Countless brothers and sisters live it with intensity, live it with truth, penetrate into them as they penetrate into you beyond any body and beyond any sense, where the truth reigns, where the ineffable reigns. Silence. It is now time for you and for me, staying in the fire of the Sacred Heart, to embrace your last questions in order to make you live the last insights, the ultimate truth in the presence of the choir of angels, accompanied by the dream of Feham, accompanied by the multitude of the angels of the Lord as well as the multitude of worlds celebrating with you, beyond your resurrection, the end of the dream of creation, the end of the illusory kingdom of illusion, worshipped or feared. Only listen to your heart, it will never lie to you no matter what your head says, no matter what the other says, no matter what the laws of this world say, no matter what morality says and no matter what your habits tell you. Accept to be free, accept freedom. It is given to you in abundance. It is given to you in an incessant way as a reminder of the evidence that can never dry up and that can only inflate with the passing hours, with the passing of the scenes of theater that break up before your eyes, igniting your heart not of recognition, but simply of coordination and superposition between this simulacrum and the sacred, so that, there too, everything becomes sacred again, beyond any condition as well as any dimension. Let us accept this, so that there will be no more difference, so that any distance can be ended. This is our truth, this is our life, this is love. There is nothing to fear, whatever you say or think, there is only the ineffable, there is only the dream, which could think of flowing in any direction as in any dimension, which absorbs in itself, for the glory of only one thing. Burning sons of the sun, I invite you to the perpetual celebration of what is found, where there is nothing to seek, where there is nothing to expect, because everything has already come to you, whatever this world tells you, whatever the other tells you, whatever your eyes tell you, whatever your senses tell you, because you were well before that, even before the appearance of your senses, even before the appearance of any form. Nothing can be separated, removed or divided, but everything can only multiply, to the infinity of each instant, to the infinity of beauty. Silence. My friend, my beloved, the water of life has fertilized you, the waters from above have joined the waters from below, it is lived in you, and it is you, where the elements cannot be separated, nor even analyzed, where everything is embraced, in the same intensity of grace. Remember that there is no effort, remember that this is embraced, remember that you have never moved, no matter what your shape tells you, no matter what your body tells you, no matter what this life tells you. Silence. I give you my peace, which is nothing but your peace. I can only give you what you already are, from all time and all eternity, in whatever form you have borrowed, where there is nothing more to borrow, where you need no support or any world. Silence. Allow yourself to love yourself, to the extent that I love you, without measure or counting, beyond any measure and beyond any restriction. I am with you, as you are with me, as we are with each other, whatever you think or say, whatever you feel about it, whatever you feel about it, whatever you feel about it, it doesn't make any difference, because there is no more distance. Allow me to give my peace, in order to receive peace, the peace that is not included between two wars, but that remains there forever, through all people, through all suffering, through all joy. My friend, my beloved, beloved of love, may the fire of grace kindle your last reticences, may the fire of grace give you peace. Silence. In your most elementary and simple humanity, it will now be time to embrace us all into each other, through questions, through interrogations, because the answer is already there, in silence and in my word, but also in what I will answer, which is also your answer, which are also your words. So, I'm listening to you, if you have to question, if you have to interrogate. Whatever questions you have, you're the answer, just as I am your answer. So, beloved, I listen to what you have to give, I listen to what you have to ask, as everyone does. Voice. Question from a sister. Question. Hello, Abba. We can see that our world is falling apart. Is there an urgency to return to the divine being that we are? Beloved, there was no urgency, because there is no longer any delay, the counted times have completed their countdown, that is now. Remember that there is nothing to run from, just to embrace. Remember that there is an urgency only for the person, but never for who you are. This is what you recognize yourself in, this is what you can't fail in. Be still, let it be what it is, and you will live happiness, and you will live peace, in the midst of the collapse of the dream, in the midst of the collapse of the world. There is nothing to anticipate, there is nothing to prepare, there is nothing to expect, but simply to realize it, in the eternal instant. Silence. Voice. Second question from the same sister. Question. How can we prepare to host the event? Beloved, the event is in you, there is no need to prepare, because it is there. If you think you must prepare, then prepare yourself to accept the grace of love. This is the best preparation. In this, there is no need to move. In this, there is no need to change any external circumstance, because each of us, whatever we think and say about it, is very exactly in the best place to live what is happening, within the collapse. The collapse is only the ascent, beyond all people, the ascension in joy, the ascension in absolute, the ascension that shows you that you do not need to ascend, that nothing can descend, that nothing can be feared. There is beatitude, there is ecstasy, and it is even superimposed on your character, even on your reluctance, in order to show you that you have always been there, with a smile and joy. Whatever your tears tell you, whatever your life tells you, whatever your likes tell you, the truth is, nothing has ever been missing. You're the way, the truth and the life, beyond all ways, beyond all life. You're the truth that does not depend on any condition, that does not depend on any thought. There is no more adequate preparation than to give yourself in order to embrace you in the totality. Silence. Give yourself before is given to you, to participate in joy, to participate in silence, to participate in beatitude. You have nothing to prepare, because it has always been ready. Silence. Let me take you where you have never moved, where your home of supreme peace is, where the ecstasy and beatitude of who you are, is the repairing balm for what you may still think you have to repair, when everything is perfect, in every circumstance, whatever you think, there too, and whatever you say. Silence. The intelligence of the light is not only everywhere, but also is what you are, beyond any belonging, as well as any history. Don't worry about anything, about that, just embrace, just surrender, just give, just love. For there is the true contentment, which will never pass. Silence. Beloved, are there other questions or other questions? Voice. Yes. From another sister. Question. Hello, Abba. Are all beliefs bad, even for ourselves? Belief was essential. When everything was limited, belief allowed you to move forward. Today, this is superfluous, no longer of any interest, because the true belief lies only and exclusively in what is lived. Nothing has to be believed, everything is to be lived and everything must be lived. So therefore, belief today is an obstacle, because belief puts distance, because belief is not lived, because it depends on your head, and will never depend on your heart. The heart does not need to believe, the heart does not need hope, the heart does not need distance, the heart does not need anyone, only the head believes it and only the head experiences it. There is no place for any belief of any kind in the sacred space of your heart. It is superfluous, it obstructs you and it freezes you. Silence. No belief can replace the living of the instant. Believing only separates, because there is what you believe and there is what you do not believe. This is violence, this is separation, this is valid in yours in any religion in which you may believe, which from the outset limits you by excluding all others. There are no groups, no religions, no masters, all this is illusory, all this happened for a time. Your connection is direct, there is no need for an intermediary, there is no need for religion, there is no need for anyone. Accept this and peace will be there. Do not fight against belief, but cross it, whatever it may be, and you will see for yourself, from the moment you accept it, the naked love and the ineffable joy of rediscovering yourself in totality, for you have never been a being of belief, but a being of experience. Silence. Voice. Abba. Question from another little sister. Question. How can we let ourselves be carried by the light? Simply by realizing that you are everything you see, that you are something else, that you are every religion, by no longer separating, by no longer dividing, by simply embracing, by simply shining, by the smile on your lips, by the brightness of your eyes, by the importance of your tears. Don't limit anything, don't stop anything, and, above all, don't believe anything. There is nothing to do, don't believe anything, there is simply to see the evidence of the present, the evidence of love. All the rest will be embalmed, all the rest will be covered by the fire of love. Silence. Let yourself be loved, for you are love. Let yourself be possessed, because you possess everything, without attaching yourself to anything, because you are everything, as much as nothing. You are what you cannot name, and yet you are the one who named it all. The nameless is your kingdom, the nameless is your dwelling, which cannot be restricted in any way and in any way. Accept it, and that is enough. Accept to receive the gift of grace that is offered to you in superabundance, in all circumstances. Silence. Voice. Question from another of our sisters. Question. Can our heart be a refuge for other brothers and sisters who are still in this dream? Beloved, love, and you will see that your love will consume the dream of the other, with the same intensity as it consumes you. Because the other is in you, even the one who rejected you and allowed you to be where you are at some point, even if you don't see it. Do not seek to see it, accept it, and the other's heart will burn with evidence and ease, and in the immediate moment, without delay and without distance. Each of you is able to live it, beyond any intention, because each glance and each love apparently carried outside of you, is resultary and gratifying for the one who thinks of giving, as for the one who thinks of receiving, to perform the miracle of one single thing, beyond any form, as well as any belief. There is only the spontaneous and more natural practice of Agape, which makes you experience this, with happiness and intensity, renewed with each look, with each morning awakening, as well as with each moment when you fall asleep. Silence. Voice. I don't think there are any more questions, Abba. So, beloved, we will remain in silence, in the embracing of the fire of the Sacred Heart, emanating from each one and returning to each one, with the same equality, with the same fraternity, because you are a free being who has no use for any motto, any belief or any distance. So, beloved of love, let me cover you completely with what you have always been, and let me embrace you at the same time, in the heart of Abba, for each heart is yours, for there is only one heart, prior to the vision, prior to the experience that it is a dream and that it will pass and we will never pass, without being able to separate us, without being able to express the slightest idea of the individual, the slightest idea of the world, because there will be no more idea, because there will be no more thought, because there will be no more form, if not this intolerable love, this inexpressible love, because the intolerable and the inexpressible, it concerns the person, that you are not. So embrace yourself, with the same intensity, with the embrace, I embrace each of you, making no difference or privilege. There is no one when everyone is united and united in the same heart and in the same resonance. Silence. You are what you are, which cannot be defined, neither by the I am, nor by any concept, and yet it is lived from this instant, if you wish it, beyond any desire, as well as any intention. For what more can one desire, greater or more vast, where there is no condition but the truth of Agape? It is in everyone, with the same happiness, with the same measure, which never counts. The profusion is there, it cannot be limited, neither quantity, nor in time, nor in space, whatever you think and say, whatever you resist, because even resistance becomes embrace. You do not depend on any circumstance, you do not depend on any condition, as you do not depend on any world, and that is now. Allow me to give you to yourself, from this moment on, allow yourself to love yourself, whatever your failings, whatever your illusory sufferings, whatever you think about them and whatever you feel about them. Silence. Birds. Vehua, vehua, vehua. Vehua, vehua, vehua. Vehua, vehua, vehua. Silence. Birds. It is now time never to close again the meaning of my words or the meaning of my silences, they are yours as much as mine, because nothing belongs to me, because nothing belongs to you. Silence. Birds. Through Jean-Luc Young. Les Transformations. Transcription from French. Agape. English translation, LMF.